Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tajahau UPD Ruking KFANEKRUM. Today, my group and I would like to present a topic of role of government in developing the Islamic capital market. I am DINI BATRISYIA. Would like to start with introduction. Many nations accept the concept of Islamic money because it motivates them to put Islamic economic principles into reality and introduces a trading concept of a financial system based on profit and loss sharing as an alternative to conventional finance that is based on interest. One of the Asian economies with the quickest growth rates is Malaysia, which has a sophisticated banking system. Meanwhile, the Islamic capital market in Malaysia offered Islamic stocks and suku indices, which serve as an alternative to interest-bearing instruments and produce a profit as a return on investment. It also provides protection against risk and volatility, particularly during times of crisis.
Let's go to the problem. There is three problems, which is product and services, political inconsistency, and the needs to enhance awareness, knowledge, and skills among industry participants. First, product and services. It appears that the goods and services provided by Islamic capital market organization in our country, Malaysia, are essential imitation of traditional goods and features with minor alteration to be Sharia compliant. Many believe that since the product is really a twin conventional product, investing in either the conventional or Islamic channel will produce the same outcomes. Furthermore, everybody says that buying Sharia compliant equities may restrict your option for investing because you can only buy listed Sharia compliant stock. The next problem is political inconsistency. The unequal political treatment in the Malaysian government's objective for promoting Islamic finance is another factor impeding the growth of Islamic capital market. This is especially true given that the Malaysian government fully supports the growth of Islamic commercial banks and suku issuance, which has a beneficial impact on the industry's sizable size. However, Islamic capital market is exempt from it. For instance, the Malaysian government offers several tax breaks and incentives for suku issuer and investor alike through a variety of layers and procedure. And the last problem is the needs to enhance awareness, knowledge, and skills among industry participants. The Islamic capital market's product and services is not even widely known among Malay Muslims because people have the misconception that stock investment demand brokerage fees, which are costly than investment in other financial sector. They should be run by someone with at least a fundamental awareness of Sharia-related issue and principle, as well as sufficient knowledge of the technical and fundamental facets and administrative skills. However, in reality, the majority of Malaysian enterprises are run by personnel with strong managerial and financial background, but very little knowledge and of an expertise in Sharia.
In Malaysia, it appears that the products and services offered by Islamic capital market organizations are simply clones of conventional items and features with small adjustments to be Sharia compliant. So, from Islamic perspective, it is best believed to look at the concept of Islamic accountability to define the significance of government's role in developing Islamic capital market. Regarding the government's obligation to the organizations, they are accountable for giving the right guidelines in accordance with Sharia and making sure that the management complies with those instructions. We can refer on Surah Al-Imran, Ayah 185 about the Islamic accountability, which means every soul will taste death, and you will only receive your full reward on the day of judgment. Whoever is spared from the fire and is admitted into paradise will indeed triumph, whereas the life of this world is no more than the delusion of enjoyment. Also, to avoid any issue of unequal political treatment in the Malaysian government, the government must take Islamic principles into account to develop Islamic capital market. The principles of Shurati decision making, Hisbah and Sharia auditing should serve as the foundation of an Islamic corporate governance structure. The government is accountable for establishing the rules and regulations that organizations must abide by, as well as for monitoring their adherence to those rules and regulations. Finally, the needs to enhance awareness, knowledge and skills among industry participants for the growth of Islamic capital market. It is important for an organization to be managed by someone who understands issues and ideas relevant to Sharia, as well as adequate technical and fundamental knowledge and administrative abilities. Islam places a strong emphasis on truthfulness, fairness and consensus among the participants because these qualities will foster unity among the participants and improve organizational performance.
My name is AMIRAH NATASHA and I will proceed to the solutions. The first issue highlighted the imitations in Islamic banking products from the conventional ones. Therefore, the question is, how to solve the imitations that exist in Islamic banking products from the conventional ones? Here, I put an example of the concept risk sharing for both Islamic banking and conventional banking. In terms of sources of funds following Sharia principles, the investors, profit-sharing investment account holders, share the risk and return with the bank. The return on it is not guaranteed and depends on the bank's performance. While for conventional, the sources of funds happen when the depositors transfer the risk to the bank, which guarantees a pre-specified return. Next, we want to look into the uses of funds. Following the Islamic principles, the Islamic banking shares the risk in mudarabah and musyarakah contracts and conducts sales contracts in most other contracts. On the other hand, for the conventional ones, borrowers are required to pay interest independent of the return on their project. Conventional bank transfer the risk through securitization of credit default swaps. Financing is debt-based. After referring to the table, we can see that the processes themselves are already different to each other. The matter which concerns the most is when there are people who see it as the same way due to the lack of knowledge on the principles laid down by the Islamic teachings. There will be questions on whether the outcomes of Islamic banking transactions will be the same as practicing conventionals. So our response would be no. Islamic banking may use the same structures as the conventional, but the additional Islamic models that will make it appear different with the conventional. Plus, the halal and haram is the obvious comparison on the outcome. The second issue highlighted the political inconsistency that can be seen in promoting the Islamic product such as the sukuk issuance. This can be proven when the principles and regulations set for Islamic commercial banks and Islamic capital market are not standardized. The solution that we can propose is for the Sharia Advisory Council or SAC to investigate the matter. As we all know, the SAC besides lists out the Sharia based for the development of a Sharia contract, they also do the research findings and also custom and market the practices. So this shows that if there is any unfair treatment in regards to the regulations applied to such financial institutions, the SAC can amend it and update the law. This is to prevent any misunderstandings. Now moving on to the third issue, which is the needs to enhance awareness, knowledge and skills among industry participants. We have discussed this issue and have decided for it to be solved by spreading this awareness. Knowledge and skills in a way that the citizens can read it anywhere and in a more appealing form. For example, we can pay content creators or social media influencers to promote the recent news about Islamic capital markets, products, and services. The content creators can do live as well as question and answer or Q&A sessions on mobile phone applications, namely TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, on the latest Sharia principles to the netizens. So that is all from me.
To conclude, this implies that the Islamic capital market is essential to promoting real sector growth. As a result, Malaysian authorities are actively promoting and strengthening the role of the Islamic financial system through the implementation of regulations that can offer a variety of Sharia structured goods and services. It should be promoted to increase investment volume. However, we cannot have denied that the Islamic financial institutions face significant challenges from conventional financial institutions. Thus, ongoing efforts are required to maintain a balance between offering shareholders current investment methods that are both spiritually uplifting and commercially viable.